Hi everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. Now I was combing through Amazon.com all over the interwebs and I wanted to find the most affordable human hair wig available. And I think I found it. The way I was looking at it, I wanted human hair that was both wearable, cute, and wasn't too short where I actually could do something with it. So I was able to whittle the price down to about $115 in total with shipping. That's how much this cost, which is really, really affordable for a human hair wig if you're just trying to experiment with it. Here's what I got. It is from Aeon Hair, not sponsored, I wish they would. Send me hair Aeon, and it came in this little box like that. Slide up like that. You know, it gave you little instructions for it that I always throw away. Wig cap and some elastic if you're into that sort of fantasy. And this is the wig. Now, when I looked at it, it looked rather pitiful, I'm not gonna lie to you. On the website, it was like super flat against the head. It's like there's nothing in it. She's very, very gold because I think she's freshly dyed in the factory. So you probably wanna wash it beforehand, but we're just gonna style it right out the bag. This wig is about 14 inches, which is about the length I need in order to do any kind of hairstyle with. That's the shortest I really wanna go. Otherwise, we're getting into like, you know, complicated territory. And I don't like to do things that are complicated. All right, let's get started on styling her. First things first, I'm gonna go off what I'm gonna use for this. I'm using, obviously, my rollers. For hairsprays, I'm using a wet one. Don't really matter which one you use. I have my Pump It Up Gold, and I have Got To Be Glue. For styling, I'm using three. I have my detangling brush, I have my packing brush, and I have a rat tail comb. I would normally be using a teasing comb, but I lost mine, so it is what it is. This will do the job just right. As well as pins, a steamer, and a blow dryer. You should know what I'm using by now. All right, let's tack her down to the head. Whew, okay, she is tacked down. Now let's start rolling it up. I'm gonna section it off in a way I usually do it. I wanna do like a Marilyn Monroe, Jaymes Mansfield kind of 50s do. You know, my huge. And I wanna try and do a drag queen roller set on this hair and see if I can make it more fabulous. Now I know what you may be thinking, James, this seems like a bit of overkill. You really have to steam curl the wig? Yes. I feel like I need to because you could easily do like a curling iron to this and, you know, be on your way. But I don't think you get that really crisp, beautiful vintage style curl without doing a steam set. And at first I thought I was kind of like doing the most by this, but then I read a theater book where I learned that they actually do steam curl wigs, human hair wigs in the theater and dry them in a wig oven. So there you go. You're getting like a pro tip from somebody who's nowhere near professional. Now we are going to steam her and we're gonna see what we can get out of her. Okay, while we wait for that to heat up, let me just go over some of the reasons why I love human hair and why I like playing around with it. Now when I do my heat sets to my wigs, especially the human hair wigs, and I tease them out, they are the only wigs I own that generally get back to the shape I had them when I first got them. With synthetic hair, you can't really do that. You have to do a whole long process in order to get the hair back to workable shape. And you can only do it so many times before the wig is honestly ruined. Whereas the human hair wig, if you're gentle with it, you can get a really long lifespan out of it. Oh, and our steamer is ready. Let's steam her. And steam is a great way of doing this because if you use like a hot tool, like a curling iron or something like that, a lot of high levels of heat can really do a lot of damage to a human hair wig. And you gotta remember, this hair is not growing out of the head, so once it's gone, it's gone. But I love these wigs because honestly, they're kind of a trend right now, and I noticed not a whole lot of people are doing a lot of styling to them, and I wanna kind of change that if we can. Don't be afraid to style your human hair wig. There's more styles out there than just a flat iron and a side part. And especially if you're a drag queen like moi, you're not gonna be wearing this wig every day, so you could honestly set and reset it every time you have to wear it. And do something, you know, daring and more fun with it every time you do. Now, normally I would wash the hair with like a purple shampoo to get some of that yellow out of it, but I just want to style it straight out of the bag, just so you get the full experience of what you can actually do with it. And the good thing about the human hair is it doesn't have to be under the heat for that long. You honestly just have to get a little hot for the touch, and then it's pretty good to go. Just rotate the sides. And back in the 50s and 60s, ladies used to do that. They'd wet set their hair and go to sleep with it, so that when it woke up, you had this beautiful wave you can comb out. That's why if you look at old movies, you see some ladies like laying in bed with the curlers in the hair and like toilet paper wrapped around it. That's what they're doing. Protecting your hairstyle so you can wear it again tomorrow. All right, she is cooked. Look at that steam coming off of there. All right, now we're going to put her in the wig oven. I'll be right back. All right, and I'm gonna put the wig in the wig oven off of camera. If you want to see how I do my wig oven technique, I have a video link down below where I go into more detail about it. It's super simple, you don't wanna miss it. Welcome back. I just got done putting her in the wig oven. I did her on rotation for about 10 minutes each, because with human hair, it has a tendency to dry a little slower, and sometimes if the hair is longer, it can really take a long time to dry it. This one I was just a little more cautious with it, just because I want to make sure it was super dry for you guys when I started styling it. So right now it is cool to the touch. I'm gonna start taking the rollers down and see how the curls had, and see if the hair curled. So let's see. Yep, we have a curl, yes. Yeah, I'm low-key in love with how golden this hair is right now. Like, I know it's not natural looking at all, but it sort of reminds me of Sleeping Beauty, Princess Aurora, how she had that golden hair. And she was my favorite Disney princess growing up because she didn't do she just laid down and slept. All right, she is curled. She kind of looks like Nomi Malone. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's start styling her. Just going to run a brush through her quick. Ugh, a woman. How bouncy that hair is. She looks like Michelle Pfeiffer. So I'm gonna go through with a comb now and start teasing this girl, okay? Don't be afraid to tease. And with human hair, you don't have to go that much because it'll take a tease like that. See, a gentle tease like that and you're already like whipping through this. And this is gonna be so easy to brush out. All you gotta do is just get over that initial fear of like, going through it with a teasing comb and teasing it up. Because a lot of people, they see the price point and they're like, I don't know if I wanna do that. But honestly, for a human hair wig, $100 is really not that much. It's super cheap. Look at that, she's already getting big. Love it. Okay, and before I speed through the rest of this, let me give you a little pro tip. What I do to get the teasing out of the hair is I start from the bottom. I know it's like wigs 101, but I start from the bottom and slowly bring it through with one of these brushes. One of these guys, it's the detangling brush. I slowly work it through and pull the hair out and work your way all the way up to the roots. But don't go all the way up at once and just rip it out because then you're gonna rip out hair. You're gonna get more of the teasing out if you just start from the bottom and slowly go up. It's that simple. All right, she is teased. Now, let's start going through and doing the fun part. We're gonna style it. First off, we're gonna part off some sections. I'm gonna create a part. That's what I'm doing. See, I'm gonna plop some of this over here, some of that over here, and we're gonna try and tell a story with this hair. Like, there's a lot of volume here, but now we have to add some structure to it. And all I'm doing is just slowly gliding this comb over the top because I want to keep the teasing in there and using my hand to also guide the hair where I want it to go. One thing I don't think I've ever really mentioned with my brush outs is when I start, I drag it over the surface and I don't stop until that brush is all the way through the end of the hair. See, and you get a nice smoother finish that way. And it's a lot easier to do your ends as well. You have to worry about like things bunching up in the center or anything. And if you're liking a certain section the way it's turning out, and you want to keep it that way, don't worry about it, take a clip and just clip her. There you go. All right, I'm gonna do the back. Let me show you the back. I'm doing it. It's easy, just going over the surface and dragging the brush all the way through. And see, this is why I love human hair. Look how fast that happens. It's like brushing through butter. All right, and this front section is not giving me the moment I want, so I'm gonna do something that might give some of you some anxiety when it comes to hair, especially expensive hair. I'm gonna cut it. So I'm gonna pull some sections here in the front for the bang and create my signature bang that I like to do. All I do is I extend it like that and slowly chop upward, taking a little bit off. I'm only gonna take off about a little bit, like maybe half an inch. Some of you that are hairstylists watching are just probably like cringing at the way I cut my hair. All right, and I like that bang. I like where the bang is going. So I'm just gonna clip some of it out of the way so I can do the side here. And see, I see certain sections I like that I want to accentuate. So I just push it upward, like I want that to have more volume on the sides for my head. Just pushing that brush upward and then leaving it for a bit and stopping. All right, and using a comb, I'm just gonna go through the bottoms and get it all going in one direction. And if you want it curlier, use a curling iron. It's human hair. That's what I tend to do when I to freshen up the bottom of my wigs on a gig. That's why I like it. I could just use a curling wand and get the bottoms freshed again. Nice and crisp. Because much like anything, with the synthetic wig, you can't really do that. You have to like re-steam it and wait the whole time again. With human hair wigs, if the hair didn't quite curl at the bottom the way you want it to, just go through with a wand, you know, fix it right away. Normally, the body will hold the most shape. And like the Bette Midler song with the hairspray, especially Gotspeed glue, you spray it from a distance. I feel like that's a mistake I used to make a lot when I first styling hair, is I would just go right up in the front of it with the hairspray and just get in there. You don't have to do that. It gums the hair up right away. You just gotta let the mist hit it, mist it. You know, us drag queens, we're creatures that love excess, and we'll just go in there and overdo it if we have to. And sometimes you don't really have to. And this is a her. She is a fun 1950s inspired style. This is a hairstyle I do quite often, as you folks know. All right, I'm gonna try her on so you see how she looks on the head. So I'll be right back, okay? Welcome back. This is the final result. Okay, I lied. Now, when I finished that last style, I got really, really bored with this. I feel like I've done this hairstyle a million times, so let's amp it up a bit. I'm gonna show you a little trick I've been doing that's been really, really working out for me. Now, one thing I hate is double stacking wigs. Like a full wig on top of the head is so heavy. And what I found, a little hack, is I take a $13 drawstring ponytail that I got from Sally's, and they come in a really long length. This is a 613, and I usually cut the drawstring out, don't really matter. It's up to your own preference. And what I do is I cut layers into it. Yes. And then once I've layered it, I then curl it the same way I curl any of my other wigs. And then, just like any of my other wigs, I tease it out. I have one right here. Voila, look at that. You now have a bump that is huge, and when you put it on the back of the wig, it's gonna give it even more volume when you blend it together. Now, I'll show you a bit. Now, just take it. You don't even have to be like delicate with it. You can just tease it down and just get a huge bubble of hair. Just like that. What I like about this method is it's half the weight of a full wig, and they pack so much hair into these drawstring ponytails, they will give you the huge amount of volume you need without all that weight. I have a hair bubble. What I'm going to do now is just go through with my brush again and just smooth a little bit of a front over it. Just smooth over the top of it, and it should look like this. A big old, you know, hair mass. And now, smooth over it with your hand. We're going to join it. Taking our comb, let's just rip apart our bang here. Ugh, hurt me a little bit to do that. And pull some from the front section here. And now what we're going to do is blend this together. Sectioning off that front section. We're gonna do some hair doctoring. Take our bump. And you can even use the combs that are in the hair and just comb it right on in there. Now you may notice this is two different hair colors. Now when I normally do this with a human hair wig, I wash the hair first with a purple shampoo, and that'll take the yellow out of it. And that way it'll match up with the 613 from the store. All right, I got my front section pulled out like that. Gonna take some bobby pins. If you want to be extra safe, you could sew it. And what I like to do is I take a few pins and I lift it up the bob, lift up the bump, and you just pinch it down like that. See it better there? Like you pinch it. It's pinched. Take a long Tracker Jack bobby pin and join it together. And that's gonna add even more volume. One thing I love about doing drag is I love finding methods that are like cheating. And all we do now is just go over it with our brush and we start to blend it. All right, now the back can be a little bit tricky. What I do is I take my hand and kind of work with how I did my old videos where you slowly guide it through the bottom, like dragging it over the top, taking it to the bottom, and then working our way down. So like a ladder. Use our hand and pinch it and keep going. Keep going down. And do this over and over again until it's blended. Just gonna do some fixing on the front to get the bang the way I like it. And we're going to take it from that boring Maryland style I do all the time to something a little more Barbarella. One of the things I always notice about hairstyling is like when you're doing it on the head, it always looks smaller. But then when you actually put it on your head and it like meets your actual head measurements, you'll be surprised by how much volume is actually there. Like I said, all I did, honestly, after I layered that and curled the ponytail was just put it in the back and blend it together. Back in the 60s, ladies would do this a lot where they have a hair piece that was like a piece of wadded up hair and they disguise it with their hair combed over it. All right, she is even fuller. I'm gonna try her on now and show you a real final result. Okay, now this is the real final result. Now this is one thing I love to do with my human hair wigs that is so inexpensive. It's like mixing something that's expensive and something super cheap. We're taking human hair and synthetic and we're marrying them together. So, like I said, once you start blending it down, you can hardly even tell. Like, it totally looks like it's part of the hair. And it's so cheap to do. It's way cheaper than buying hair extensions, honestly. So if you're interested in fooling around with human hair wig, but you still want that drag queen look, this is a great method to play around with that. Now, this is the front, and this is the back. And if you really practice your layering, it'll get easier and easier to disguise. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want a wig styled personally by me, I do have style wigs available on my website. Just click that little link down below. And if you like this video, why not make one of your very own? My Cameo page is listed below too, as well as merchandise. Please support me. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye! Click here and see me transform a $15 wig from Amazon. Or see what happens when my boyfriend Ernie tries to follow one of my tutorials. Come on, click it. You know you want to. If you don't click it, I'll get all Tanya Harding on you. So click it!